Life comes at you fast when you're an NBA head coach. Just 24 hours removed from a report stating that Tom Thibodeau was safe, the Knicks have fired their head coach, looking for a new voice to lead them into the future, and that might not be the only big change coming to New York this summer. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you do subscribe right here to the channel. Going to be a busy summer around the NBA. So this was from Shams Charania just moments ago. The New York Knicks are relieving Tom Thibodeau of his duties as head coach. Sources told ESPN Thibodeau led the Knicks to the first East Finals in 25 years, made the playoffs in 4 of 5 years, and led the Knicks to consecutive 50-plus win seasons for the first time since the 1990s. Then he added, the Knicks are singularly focused in their pursuit of a championship and believe a new voice will serve as the focus for the organization's next step. Sources said after 5 seasons with the Knicks, Thibodeau is out as the head coach. So we've seen this Knicks organization be willing to create massive change during the offseason. In fact, we saw it last summer. Last year's Knicks, 2 seasons ago, that team was built around the idea of offensive rebounding, of being a juggernaut on the glass. And that was what we saw with players like Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson combining to wreak havoc on the boards. And that team was formidable, but got dispatched relatively easily by the Boston Celtics. So the Knicks switched things around. They retooled. They made the Karl-Anthony Towns trade, landing him. They brought in Mikal Bridges, and they changed up their team so that they could better compete with Boston. Well, mission accomplished. They beat the Boston Celtics in the second round. They won 51 games, but that was clearly not enough. Tom Thibodeau now on his way out, and the Knicks are now saying the bar is not just beating the Celtics. The bar now is winning an NBA championship. And you know what's interesting is when you look at the Eastern Conference, with the way things are currently, the East, it is wide open. I mean, wide open. Look, the Pacers are in the in the finals right now. They beat the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're a formidable team. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe, will still be a very good. They had a phenomenal season this year, just did not go their way in the playoffs. They dealt with some injuries and things of that nature. But the Boston Celtics, they're dealing with injury issues. Jason Tatum already on the way out for next season due to that unfortunate Achilles injury. So the Celtics are also probably going to have to sell off some talent as they're dealing with cap issues. So that team will not look the same next year. The Pacers, while they're very good, I don't think they're scaring anyone in the Eastern Conference. I don't think anyone is saying, no, we can't go for it right now because the Pacers are too good. That's not the case. So if you're the New York Knicks and you are any number of other East teams, the Bucks, the Pistons, the Magic, and the Miami Heat could get in there. Any of these teams, the Toronto Raptors are going to make, I believe, some big moves this summer. The Philadelphia 76ers, all of these teams are looking at the East right now and saying, why not us? Why can't it be us in the finals next year? This conference is wide open. And so this move by the Knicks, I think this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning for a Knicks organization that's going to be very aggressive, that say, look, yes, mission accomplished. We beat the Celtics. Yes, we got to the East Finals for the first time in 25 years, but that is not enough. We want to win a championship. We want a championship, and we think next season is the year to do it. It's wide open for us. And we're going to make the moves necessary to make that leap. And clearly they feel like Tom Thibodeau is not the guy that's going to get them there. Now, what's interesting is this was literally yesterday. Yesterday, this came out from Shams Charania saying that Tom Thibodeau still had support. The front office is fully supportive of Tom Thibodeau as well. Jalen Brunson's fully supportive, but I do expect them to be active and aggressive with the roster. Now, you look at what the Knicks have done. Again, over the last year and a half, Leon Rose gone out, gotten OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Karl-Anthony Towns. They're going to make changes this summer. Clearly, even with the support of Jalen Brunson, who is their star, who is their guy, the support of the front office, that was not enough to save Tom Thibodeau. I think this is just the beginning, not just for the Knicks, but for a very, very busy transaction period around the NBA. I think a lot of teams are going to say, we've got a shot right here. We've got a chance to really make a run. And the Knicks, moving on from Tom Thibodeau, says they're going to try to look to find a new voice that they think is going to get them to that next level. And I don't think that new voice coming in, whoever it may be, is going to be dealing with the same roster here that Tom Thibodeau had. I think we're going to see, despite getting to these finals, I think we're going to see significant changes. And here's the thing. We tend to look at change as a positive. It's always a positive thing in the NBA when we're looking at change. Oh, my team made this move and it's going to work out great because that's the way we want to see things. But one of the things to also keep in mind is under the new CBA, we've got so much parity around the NBA that there is more of a case for caution when making significant roster altering moves. You can tinker too much, and then the other teams you're competing with are at a chemistry advantage compared to where your team is at. So the grass isn't always greener. There is something to be said for consistency. That being said, you look at the Thunder. They added pieces. They added Isaiah Hartenstein from the Knicks in last summer. They added Alex Caruso via trade, and now here they are, the favorites now to win an NBA title. So I don't think we have an NBA that is as divergent in terms of you're a treadmill team or you're a contender and there's a big gap in between. I think minor tweaks can be enough to propel a team to where they want to go. Maybe it's something like changing a head coach. Maybe it'd be something like swapping out one of their pieces. Maybe it's Karl Anthony Towns, who right now already has betting odds out there on the market about where he may wind up. Didn't have a great Eastern Conference Finals. So they could turn around and flip Karl Anthony Towns and make a significant move there. But I don't think this is going to be a complete teardown for the Knicks. That's not the way things are right now in the NBA, and I don't think that's where this Knicks team is. But one tweak already now in changing their head coach, and we'll see who it's going to be. Then the question is going to be, what else are they going to do with their roster? Taking a look at some of their salaries here, they are right now above the first tier apron already, $3.8 million. So inherently, that means a few things. First of all, they have to send out more salary than they send back in a trade. That's something to keep in mind. They're only $8 million below that second apron as well, so they could run into some second apron issues. They don't really have a taxpayer mid-level exception to use because that would be $5.6 million. And if you spend that, you are then hard capped at that second apron, and they still have too many roster spots to fill. So realistically, we're looking at a Knicks roster that is what it is, with the exception of some veteran minimum salaries that they could potentially add. Do you pick up PJ Tucker, who has $0 guaranteed for next season? He's a team option. Ariel Hukporti, does he wind up staying? The core of your team right now is Towns, Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, Bridges. I would include Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson in that. Deuce McBride did some incredible things during the playoffs, had some big moments as well. But I think those are your guys that you're really going to decide to build around. And I think these are guys that are going to have some value out there in the trade market. The question is, can you move Karl Anthony Towns and maybe even shed some salary in the trade for Towns, send him elsewhere? The Knicks could be a team to get in on Kevin Durant. Could we see something? Their salaries are very similar, with Towns potentially going to the Suns to play with Devin Booker, while Kevin Durant, this would have to be a 3-team trade at least, if not a 4-team trade, but Kevin Durant could come to the Knicks. And then you've got an army of wings and Bridges, Anunoby, and Durant to play out there, and you run Mitchell Robinson as your starting center. It's a bit of a gamble in terms of health, but that would be quite a bit of scoring, maybe a bit better situated to deal with the Indiana Pacers. That said, though, I mean, look, the Knicks already reconfigured their roster this past summer to better prepare them to deal with the Boston Celtics. That worked. Now, how much do you really want to tinker with things in order to try to make a finals run? And can you really try to build a team to specifically deal with one squad? For example, if you now build a team that you think is going to be better equipped to handle the Pacers, what if, say, the Cleveland Cavaliers don't fizzle out in the playoffs next year and you're dealing with the size that they've got, and that's the roadblock that you run into come playoff time? So that's one of the things teams have to be careful of. Now that there's so much parity, matchups are going to matter more than ever. And I don't know that you can fully build a roster that is completely bulletproof to whatever problems you could run into come playoff time. So tinker too much and you could wind up creating a whole host of new problems. But nonetheless, I do think this Knicks team is going to look different heading into next year. I think they've shown that they're not afraid to make significant moves, to make big moves. Wouldn't shock me at all if Karl Anthony Towns is the player that's on the way out. They could look to move Mikal Bridges as well, $25 million, while $24.9 million, and he's an expiring contract right now. So maybe that's somebody they could move on from as well if there was some interest around the NBA. And I think there would be. Wings are in high demand. So those are the main guys that I'm looking at. The Knicks could potentially move. But you know what? I think one thing is for sure. This is an early sign that the Knicks are going to be very aggressive. They're going to make some significant moves, and they're already removing a head coach that had a heck of a lot of success in New York. But clearly, the East Finals, not enough. Not enough to save Tom Thibodeau. They're looking higher than that. They are setting their sights on an NBA championship. And clearly, they believe whoever it is that will take the reins as their next head coach can get them there. Again, though, I think this is just the beginning for the New York Knicks, and we're going to see some significant changes on their roster. But everybody, give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Did Tom Thibodeau get a fair shake, or is he getting the raw deal here in New York, getting let go after making the Eastern Conference Finals and having such a successful run in New York? Give me your thoughts in the comment section, and go check out our latest video, an update on the Kevin Durant trade market. Go check that out right now.